All right, this is Algebra 1B Part 2, and we are in Unit 1, Lesson 2. In my last video, I actually mistakenly called that Lesson 2, and it was Lesson 1. In Lesson 2, we're going to graph quadratic equations of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Here's an example. Y equals 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. Okay? And I'm just going to walk through the steps. I'm not going to give a whole lot of detailed explanation. This is meant to kind of introduce you to what you're going to learn and hopefully clarify some things. You can revisit this recording after you go through the lesson as well. Okay? There's something called the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. And the formula for the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. And that is set up so that a is 2 and b is negative 5. C is 3, but there's no c in this formula. We'll use that later on. Okay? So according to this formula, x equals negative b, negative 5, over 2a, 2 times 2. A negative is a positive, and 2 times 2 is 4, so this is 5/4, or 1.25 if you like, if we do a decimal. Okay? And that gives me something called the axis of symmetry. Once I have the axis of symmetry, I can plug that in to find what we call the vertex. The vertex is a point. I'm going to take 1.25 and I'm going to put it in for x, right? Put it in for x. So let's go ahead and do that here. Y equals 2 times 1.25 squared minus 5 times 1.25 plus 3. Now I can work this out by hand if I wanted to, but I'm going to use Desmos. So let's bring up Desmos here. Desmos.com. Okay, and we're just going to enter it the way it looks. 2 times 1.25. Shift 6 for caret for exponents. 2 minus 5 times 1.25 plus 3. And I get negative 0.125, which is about negative 1/8. Okay, negative 1.25. Okay, and now I've got the information I need to graph. The vertex is at 1.25 comma negative 0.125. I put the decimal in the wrong place. Negative 0.125. Negative 0.125. Okay, and so let's graph here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little plus sign for the origin, the x and the y axis. I'm going to graph the axis of symmetry at x equals 1.25, so 1.25, right about here. Okay. And I'm going to draw a dotted line here for the axis of symmetry. Okay. And I'm going to graph the point 1.25, negative 0.125. So negative 1/8. So right about right here. Just a little bit below the x-axis. Now from here I can graph the rest, and here's how I graph the shape. I look at it this way. I look at y equals 2x squared and think about how we graphed that in the previous lesson. Well, I can graph y equals x squared over 1 over 1 up 1 over 1 up 2 up 4 and 3 9 and so forth, because the squares are 0 1 3 and 9. But here all the squares are doubled. So I'm going to start at 0, which is where my vertex is. I'm going to go over 1 and up 2 from there, right? always a little bit short because it's 1/8. Over 2 and up not 4, but up 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And negative, the same. -1, the same. And actually, I just realized I shouldn't put those on the line. They should be over a little bit. Okay, 2 and 4, 6, 8. Here we go. And 2 and 8. Okay, and there we go. So that's the graph. Those are the formulas that you need. That's kind of a preview and a post view if you look at it again later on as to how to graph equations, quadratic equations in this form. Use the formula for the axis of symmetry, x equals -b over 2a, then plug it in for x and use Desmos if you like to find the output value to get the vertex. All right. Feel free to book a live lesson if you need help.